right, and we're back with another episode of the Daily Deuce. As usual, joining you today will be Dante Webster and
I'm John Webster. Good to see you again, Dante. We haven't done this for a while. Welcome back.
Welcome back. And welcome back is probably not what you're going to be hearing from the Utah State and Nevada fans when they see each other in, was that Mountain West? Yeah. If they see each other in Mountain West Conference Tournament play, because yesterday it didn't go very well. There was a little bit of, I guess, of a kerfuffle after the, which team won? Utah State won, right?
Utah State won the game.
Utah State pulled the upset on Nevada, and then their fans did the old college tradition of storming the court, and it just didn't end very well.
Didn't end very well, Dante. It ended up spilling into the hallway where the locker rooms go. There's also talk that Nevada got off the court, but there was some things going on, fans bothering them when they were leaving the court, and they ended up going to the wrong side of the locker room. One of the players was very upset, profanity-laced tirade in the hallway. Coaches were upset. They were fussing at the police. Rough situation. I mean, storming the court now has become a regular for these upsets. And again, it's a big win for Utah State. Nevada is a very good team this year. Eric Musselman has done a great job with them this year, did a great job with them last year. They've lost 2 of their last 4. But I think administrations have to figure this out. Storming the court, it is dangerous. And people and kids can get hurt. And I don't know what the total answer is. I mean, the first thing on my head is you have to put more of a perimeter around the court of security and law enforcement to try to stop it. You have to maybe put some rules and procedures in place, some penalties for if you do storm the court. Or, and I know this is crazy and it will never happen, yesterday's game, the final score was 81-76. Nevada's not going to win at that point. 3 seconds to go, you start letting Nevada go to the locker room. You start letting them get in before the fans storm the court, because it's about the safety aspect. And like I said, once the kids hit the court, you're not going to be able to stop it.
You're not going to be able to stop it, but the hardest thing, I guess, would be removing that from the college game, because I guess when you storm the court in college, it really makes those students who make up the student body just feel like they're really a part of the game and really a part of the atmosphere. And that's the difference between that amateur experience compared to the NBA experience, where in the NBA you will not be allowed to get down there onto the court at all.
Did you ever storm the court at Maryland?
No.
Y'all didn't have opportunities.
Well, I mean, they did. I just wasn't at a lot of basketball games. I was at Maryland, but they did. We beat Duke one time. So yeah, we beat Duke one time when I was there. Yes, that was one. I don't know. It's really surprising. I know Maryland wasn't great at basketball when I was there. They did beat Duke one time.
How about football? Did you storm the?
Did they storm? Do you storm the field in football?
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
That seems even more dangerous, because in football, don't they have that last wall right before you can get down to the? Yeah. That seems really stupid. Okay, sorry, we're getting on topic. That seems really stupid when you do football. It seems terrible because there's too many people. And what's the name of it? It didn't change names.
Xfinity.
Yeah, thank you. So it just seems like it's a lot going on, and I know that's a part of the game. But like you said, they do have to put parameters on it. Somehow, some way, you have to decide. Okay, how do we cut this off? How do we stop it from just being a certain number of kids down here? If you can make that a possibility, maybe you only let people in the student section do it. I guess maybe if you're just trying to find a way, because it just seems like there's no way to make it safer, because it's just really difficult.
Well, I think if you want to have them storming the court or storming the field, you go ahead and you still do it, but you have to get that visiting team out of there.
Add a grace period where it's like, okay, the buzzer just sounded off, do not storm the court immediately, let this team get off.
Or, like I said yesterday,
3 seconds left, you just let them all just go ahead and do the thing before they leave.
Just get off the court.
Like when the NBA, when a player's like, oh, okay, like a LeBron, for instance, just saying that, like last year during the finals, game 4, he knew they were going to lose. He went ahead, dapped them up, and left out early. So do something like that.
I mean, and like I said, we probably won't come up with the right answer right now, but the one thing that has to be looked at is it can be dangerous. It's fun for kids when you're in school and you get to be on the field or the court or baseball diamond or soccer field and you get to storm it. It can be fun, but also you can be dangerous, especially if you as a fan are trying to go at the visiting team and say some things to them and make a point that you just beat them and what have you. And that's when the danger comes in.
Especially if you're a drunk college kid, which I assume a lot of them may have been. So it's just like you're going to really walk up to these people and do this. And you kind of forget when you're sitting here talking to them, you're talking to somebody that's probably 6'6", 6'7", big guy. He could really knock you out if he wanted to, which is just where these fans have to learn how to stay in their place. Like you said, it's a hard issue. It's one that we probably will not be able to get to the root of or will not be able to solve anytime soon. But it's something that does have to change in order to improve safety.
Sure. Agreed.
From the last 2 weeks, Zion Williamson, the Duke star, perennial #1 pick, everybody knows is going to happen. He got a mild knee sprain during their game against UNC.
Right.
And after he blew out his shoe. And now the question on everybody's mind, will he suit up again for the Blue Devils this season? Or should he? Not even will he, it's just should he suit up for the Blue Devils again this season? I know that he hasn't played in the last, I think it's like 3-4 games since that happened. He hasn't played in any of those. He sat out. So should he come back? What do you think?
Like I've been saying to you for the last 2 or 3 weeks when this happened, I'm really not sure how I feel. Before this happened with Zion Williamson, my thought is, yeah, he should come back. He's a kid in college. He's playing ball. That's what you're there for.
Mm-hmm.
But with everything that is involved with Zion Williamson, and we're talking about finance and money and projected spot in the NBA draft, it's kind of made me pause and think about it a little differently. Like I said, I'm torn both ways because I think a kid in school should be there to play ball and
If
have
that's what
fun
he's there
and be
for.
a student athlete.
Absolutely.
But I've also told you a lot in the last couple of years, you have more athletic students than you have student athletes in college now.
Bingo.
And that's not right either.
It's not.
And with that being said, Krzyzewski, Coach K at Duke, as well as Zion Williamson, they don't say a lot, but you know all of them are looking at this together because it's a very big decision. Because if he comes back and he gets injured again, then you're going to have people saying, what if, what if, what if? If he doesn't play and he sits out the rest of the season, one and done becomes, in my opinion, even more of a farce than it already is. So I'm torn. I don't want to see him re-injure himself. I would hope to see him play some more college ball because he is a very talented player, and I really enjoy watching him play. But
Your team needs him.
yeah, but they're still a top 5 team, and even if he doesn't come back and play, in my opinion, I think they're one of the top 4 seeds in the country, even without him.
Well, they have 3. They supposedly have 3 really good players coming into the season.
It's Cam Reddish,
RJ Barrett.
R.J. Barrett, it's Zion Williamson.
And they have the point guard too, Trey Jones, right?
Yeah, Trey Jones. So they
have
have
a solid
they have a
squad.
very good team. Let's not mistake it. Williamson is what makes that
He made
Drake
some click,
go.
yeah.
You know, he's a very good player. He's an excellent player. But that's a hard decision. It's one I'm glad I don't have to make because I don't know if I'm the coach, do I sit him and not play him, and you got all these other kids who want to go at a national championship and feel he is the difference between getting to a Final Four and winning the championship. So I don't know. What do you think?
The more you think about it, the more it becomes conflicted because personally, I know I have an economic mindset where I'm thinking, okay, it's about these dollars.
Mm-hmm.
Get this money because I think you should pay college players. And if you're not going to pay them, then they have to think about, all right, this is my opportunity. And if this is my opportunity, unfortunately, these are my brothers in the back. I love them, but I have to think about me. And if I'm the number one, let's be honest, there's a lot of difference between number 1 overall pick money and if I slipped out of that top 10 and I'm pick number 11 money, which he wouldn't. But I'm just saying,
Do you think he was
based off potential alone, unless he had a completely not even like an ACL tear, it would have to be a completely devastating injury in order for him to just like completely fall out of the top 10. Even if he tore his ACL, he could be top 5.
Right now he has a grade 1 mild knee
it's a
sprain,
mild knee sprain.
and he hasn't come back yet because I really believe there are a lot of questions that everybody's asking themselves.
And they have to figure that out. But I think that it's his decision to play. But that's one thing. He did sign a letter of intent to play for Duke. So yes, he did sign up for this. Contractually, technically, he is obligated to play for them.
And he is insured too.
He already does have an insurance policy, absolutely. So you have a bunch of those things in his favor that kind of says he should play. But at the end of the day, I kind of think of it like this. If you're Zion and you just have all of these options available to you, but you just really need to get over this hump of amateur athletics, maybe you do just need to sit out and just wait. It's great to play. It's nothing wrong with playing. If he wants to play, God bless him, more power to him. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you have all this stuff sitting here and all you need to do is get through your one season at Duke and turn 19 or whatever you need, it's a, like you said, it's a very hard choice, and it's really hard to say that he needs to come back. It's great for the camaraderie aspect. It's great for Duke as a basketball fraternity and all that other type of stuff. That's great. But at the end of the day, he has to remember that, look, I wear Duke on the front of this jersey, but unfortunately for my pocket, it's about the name on the back.
Yeah.
And even for Duke this season, based off how famous they're going to, Duke is a brand name school. Duke's on TV this season so much, and you're seeing Duke everywhere because of the name on the back of his jersey.
Are we really seeing them? I mean,
You see them with Duke. We always see. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but this is different. This year is different for Duke. Usually, yes, we see Duke. I got you, but Duke is headline news every day because of this. Otherwise, yeah, it's Duke and college basketball, so we're gonna care some, but well, not some. We'll always care, but this is a different level of care. Duke has had good players, but this is a different level of. This is a good player for Duke. I know Duke had Grant Hill and all those type of guys. I get that, but this is a different type of Duke as a number one athlete.
I mean, they are rock stars, and they are must-see TV no matter where they go.
Absolutely.
I think the game against Carolina when Williamson got hurt,
Tickets won $2,000 a pop.
2,000 a pop, and was sold out how many days in advance?
I don't even remember that, but probably students probably couldn't get tickets for
Yeah,
anything.
I mean, it's a great program. Krzyzewski does a great job there. Williamson is a great player, but I just don't know what I would do on that. If I was his parent, I think I know what I would tell him.
What?
Said,
Oh, well, yeah. There you go. That makes sense right there. Yeah, if you're his parent, you just said, "I'm sorry. You got to think about this from a holistic standpoint." Yeah, no, you're absolutely right.
yeah.
And just be happy. I guess just be happy. This isn't the decision we have to make.
But I will also say this:
Mhm.
if he comes back, same thing I told you in December, they will not win the national championship.
That's another conversation for another day. We'll figure that one out later. Our last topic for the day, America's pastime, which technically is football at this point, but America's pastime, baseball. We've seen the big money contracts finally get given out. There was a 10-year, $300 million deal for one Manny Machado and a 13-year, $330 million deal for one Bryce Harper. How are we feeling about those contracts? How are we just feeling about everything in general? Manny Machado signed with the San Diego Padres. He'll go to obscurity. And Bryce Harper signed with the Philadelphia Phillies.
Manny Machado being the former Oriole Manny Machado.
Yes.
Yeah.
The one that you guys probably couldn't afford to pay $300 million to. It's okay that you couldn't either. You just probably couldn't afford it. It's completely... Look, your bankroll isn't that high. It's okay.
It's the lowest bankroll in Major League Baseball this year.
You're really going to have to open up those pockets if you want to win. Sorry.
No. Analytics is going to lead the way. But anyway, let's get back to
Okay.
Machado. I think with Machado, he got a very good contract. I'm not going to say anybody doesn't deserve the money.
No, you get your money if you can
But
get
I
it.
think it was purely money because the Padres are not going to be a contender in the National League West. They signed I think last year signed Eric Hosmer last year for $84 million.
He used to play for the Royals, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
they signed him. They have signed a couple of high-level free agents like Machado, but that team has not had a winning record in the last 8 to 10 years, and I think they'll be now in the last 9 to 11. Dodgers are still very strong out there. I think the Giants are going to come back.
Diamondbacks were good last year.
Diamondbacks were good last year and had signed a couple of free agents themselves, so they'll be tough again. Padres aren't going to do anything, in my opinion. I think if that's what he wants to do, get the money, fine. More power to him. I don't hate him for it at all.
Not at all.
But hopefully he realizes closest he get into a World Series is what he did last year with the Dodgers. It's not going to happen with the San Diego Padres.
You know, they have another. I've heard they have maybe good pitching in their farm system or something like that.
They may, but it's the word you like using now, infrastructure.
Oh yeah.
Their infrastructure, in my opinion, is not strong enough to get to where they need to go. You know, a Dodgers organization. You know, they made the trade with the Orioles for Machado. They dumped a whole lot of their farm system. They still got one of the best farm systems in baseball. And San Diego doesn't have that. Now, the Bryce Harper situation, I think that's a little bit different.
They already had a lot of pieces there, and
They had a lot
Philly
of
was already
pieces.
getting better. Yeah.
They got a lot of pieces there. They're getting better. They're going to be a contender again. And honestly, if they don't contend, I told you this earlier, If they don't contend, the manager Gabe Kapler will be gone. And in my opinion, guess who's going to be the next manager of the Phillies?
Buck Showalter.
Buck Showalter, because guess what all the front office is in Philadelphia?
Old Orioles guys.
Yep.
My question becomes with Bryce Harper. He got his money, great. Is Bryce Harper the piece that puts you over the top?
No.
Because Bryce Harper he's a great player. I won't say he's not a great player. He's a former NL MVP. Bryce Harper, by technicality, based off what the potential was for Bryce Harper, technically he'd be a career underachiever in DC. Not to say there's anything wrong with that. Not to say he's not a solid player, multiple-time All-Star. He probably, I don't know if he has a Gold Glove, but he has a Silver Sluggers, I imagine. So it's one of those type of things. I've just always wondered. You're gonna pay him his money, which he'll deserve his money, but is he gonna be the guy that's gonna be that one for you when it comes down to October? Because for the Nationals, for years, you get down to the end of the season, you're in the playoffs, and the whole team just kind of craps the bed when they get to that playoff game and they need to win to stay alive. Is it gonna change for him now that he's out of the nation's capital? Will it be better for him in Philly? That's what I just wonder.
It can be harder for him because Philadelphia is a rough place from a media standpoint.
It's a rough place from a fan standpoint. Yeah. They're not going to like him if they don't win.
Yeah, that means if he doesn't produce, but I don't look at Harper as being that last missing piece to get them here. I don't see that. I see him being a very important piece.
Foundational piece. Yeah. I'm not saying anything wrong with that.
I think the Phillies are definitely on the right path. Yeah. They are competing with the Nats and they're competing with the Braves. That he's with a contender. Machado is with a bottom dweller. Then I don't think.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I don't think the Padres are going to compete for anything. Not even a wild card. But the Philadelphia Phillies are going to compete. They have a solid foundation. The pitching staff is good. They got good players to go along with Harper. So I think it's a good move for him. Now the problem that you just mentioned, postseason. Harper has never been a great postseason player. I mean, but then again, you got to look. The Nats weren't a great postseason team.
Yeah.
So, do you want to put all that on Bryce Harper?
I'm not putting it all on him. I'm just saying. That's why I was wondering. Okay, let's just be honest. He's not Mike Trout. None of them are Mike Trout. Nobody's Mike Trout. And that's why I'm saying, was he last? I'm just saying, but Mike Trout played for a loser for years too. But I'm just saying, Mike Trout has the raw numbers and he's lived up to everything he's supposed to be, except for being a winner. But that's not all on him. It's just one of those things where that's what I've always just wondered about Bryce Harper.
All three of them came in the major league
around the same time, and then but the biggest one that was always tabbed to be that next great guy was always Bryce Harper. Mike Trout had to spend time in the minor leagues and develop and become this player that he is. Bryce Harper was supposed to be that day one guy. Which he's been a great player. That's why I said I don't want to say he's not a great player, but I just wondered, is he the guy that is going to power your team over the top? And that's just what I've wondered.
I don't think he's a guy that can carry your team in August through the pennant. That's not him. Is he going to have some hot streaks? Yes.
Is he going to have some cold streaks? God, yes.
Yes. But he's going to be consistent. I think he's going to be a solid hitter. He's going to give you 30 to 35 home runs.
Over 100 RBIs.
Over 100 RBIs. Yeah. And he's a hustler. He's going to steal your base. He's going to get some momentum going for your team. I like the move Philadelphia made to get it. I really like it. Now, he is not Mike Trout, but that's nothing to be ashamed of.
Nobody's Mike Trout, like you just said.
Well,
then he said during his press conference yesterday he's going to bring a title back to DC, so we see where he really wants to be.
Who said that?
That's what he said yesterday. He made a verbal error and said
Bryce Harper?
Yes.
Wow. He's going to bring a title back to D.C., and he's also going to get Le'Veon Bell to come to Philadelphia and play football.
Great. Oh, gosh. Yeah, he'll figure all that out.
Yeah.
Must be nice to be a Philadelphia fan right now, I guess. Until the middle of the season. We'll see what happens. We'll see where he's sitting at by the time the All-Star break rolls around in
I think
baseball.
they'll be competing for the
NL it's going to be the best division in baseball this year. Definitely.
But they're not better than the Cubs.
I got to look at the Cubs roster. I haven't seen one in a while. We'll figure that out. We'll let you have your Cubs pride along with your Orioles pride. Gotcha. I understand.
10 years from now, Cubs Orioles World Series.
All right, and that's where the segment's going to end right there. Didn't.
And then you messed your chemistry up because they're not going to make the playoffs.
They're not.
And that's terrible.
You're right. But I can't. It's hard to put it all on LeBron because it's just.
Why? He's the general manager.
It's hard. You can't just blame him because you have to look at everything else around it. It's hard just to blame him because I'm not LeBron stan by any stretch of the imagination. But I'll say this: it's hard to just blame LeBron because if you look at everything else around them, they were never set up for greatness. You set up the roster just for cap space. You were already punting on this season when you signed, Beasley, Stevenson, Rondo. Rondo's been good in spurts, I'll say that. Stevenson's been good in spurts. But when you signed all those guys to one-year contracts, JaVale McGee, you signed them all to one-year deals, Caldwell Pope. You signed all in the one-year deals. You weren't setting your team up for success this
Which
season.
more reasons why he should have stayed in Cleveland.
I don't think staying in Cleveland was the answer at this point.
They would have been further along.
Yeah, it's the East. It was weaker. I don't even know if he'd be that good in the East this year. The top 4 teams in the East would. LeBron's.
They would have been in 3rd place.
Look, I'll say this. He got injured. Before he got injured, the Lakers didn't look like a bad team. Before he got injured, they were something like 17-12, 18-12.
Yes.
That's not a bad team.
No.
His injury derailed it. And then
then he also derailed it when he came back.
He has a part in this, but it's hard to just blame him because, look, he's the best player that's wanted to come to LA for a while. I can't be mad at that. Do I believe that he had ulterior motives for coming to LA? Absolutely. And I don't knock him for those either. But it's just like, think about it. You have Magic and all those guys there. It's not they're not building their young talent up. You have a guy like Brandon Ingram. You have guys like Lonzo Ball. You have Lonzo Ball's father there who's still ruining everything in the background. You could do a better job of building
Lonzo
up.
Ball's father who also said Lonzo is better than LeBron.
Yeah, great, but you just take you're right. It's a mess, and that's the biggest thing. You have no infrastructure there, and if you're the Lakers, nobody's happy. Everybody's happy that you're miserable and failing right now because you didn't do this properly. I could admit that as a fan. They have bad infrastructure. Magic probably shouldn't have his job. Luke Walton, I don't know what he's doing, but Luke Walton was better when he had young players that he was trying to build up. Basically, after you got LeBron, you gave up on building young players. It was sink or swim. If you want to play with LeBron, you need to prove that you can handle playing with LeBron.
Which
That's
means
why
they should have made all these moves in the summertime.
Exactly, but you missed out on your second free agent because you didn't get your Paul George meeting. So you missed out on and you didn't want to trade Brandon Ingram for Kawhi Leonard. That's what the Spurs wanted. So you already messed it up. You missed out on all these opportunities. So now it becomes, what can you do this summer? If you can't do it, personally, I don't think they're going to get that second free agent. I think we're going to run back this team with better. I think they'll run back this team with better supplementary pieces.
Run back means what?
Running back. They're going to have. I think the young guys are all going to be back. I don't think they're going to get a second guy. I don't think they're going to be able to make a trade either. Because
then you got to trade LeBron because they don't want to play with him.
They're going to play with LeBron. Look, technically at this point, I'll probably take the younger guy. I'll take the younger guys in their corner too because I feel like the timelines are just so off. Signing a 34-year-old LeBron just ends up becoming the mistake you probably shouldn't have made.